sometimes I think for our families it's a burden. We are often in the public light, and then because we're in the public light, our families are in the public light, and I'm sure each one of us shares that appreciation for what it is for our families that we serve. And so I have worked hard, as most have, to keep my family out of the limelight, and I don't speak of them on the Senate floor. But I am going to make an exception to that today. I'm going to share about my brother. And I'm going to share about my brother because my brother has asked that I share his story today. My brother has said that it's a privilege for him that I serve in the Senate, and that as an extension of that, he wanted to contribute his own story with the members in the Senate and with the people who might be listening. So when I was, 19 years old, 20, my brother let me know, I was away at college, that he was gay. And he didn't tell just me, he told my parents and my other brother and sister. And in some ways we were shocked, but in other ways we weren't really shocked at all, because we had always known that there was something that was just slightly different about my brother. He was, when we were growing up, the neighborhood kids called him the odd one. You know, kids aren't very nice, and that wasn't a very nice nickname. And my brother, by the way, for anybody who knows him, is just delightful, and just words cannot express the appreciation and the esteem that I hold him in. But nonetheless, so he shared this with our family, and we had a reaction that may be similar to others of you who have had siblings or children or cousins. None of us were disappointed in him or thought any less of him, but yet we were sad. And we were sad because we were concerned about, it's hard to, Madam President, it's hard to keep talking. The din in the chamber is so loud.
Members, if we could please keep it, lower the noise level, please.
Thank you, Madam President.
Senator Bonoff.
So I was sad when he shared that, because I was concerned that he would have pain in his life from being a minority, that he would have things that he wouldn't be able to experience in his life that I knew I would be able to have. And as the years have gone on, and he has shared the joys and the sorrows with me and my family, and I have shared the joys and sorrows with him and his life, I have seen firsthand that, I do have the privilege and the honor of being a parent and having my children and being in a blessed marriage. He now has a wonderful partner, but he doesn't have the same opportunities that I have with my family and my children. He's an outstanding uncle. When I first came to the legislature, I was elected in 2005 in a special election, actually the same day Senator Koch was elected, and we started serving in 2006, and the big issue of that session was this very issue, gay marriage, wanting to put it on the ballot. And so it was pretty shocking for a new legislator. I would come into the chamber and there would be people protesting, marriage equals one man, one woman, and then people on the other side, and you often would have to go through crowds of people to get into the chamber. And at that time, Senator Bachmann would give, rousing speeches on that issue, and it was a pretty tumultuous experience, that session. And I remember being struck by how important it was that I was there for that conversation, that I could actually make a difference, that I could stand for not putting something that I viewed as hate or limiting freedom, or something that in my own view went against what God would have wanted. And so I thought that my being there that session was a wonderful thing, because I could actually vote no and make sure that in 2006 that initiative did not go on the ballot. And then For the next 4 years, we never discussed it because the makeup of the chamber changed dramatically. And instead of having just a very small majority of those who opposed this effort, there was a wide majority of those who opposed putting this on the ballot. Well, this last election, that changed. And the Republicans, as we all know, are now the majority. And with that change, this ballot initiative came back. And so once again, I have to stand here feeling as though part of my privilege, but yet also my burden and my responsibility is to stand up for all those who aren't able to stand in my chair and say no, to say that no, in fact, what it is to be an American and what it is to uphold the principles of our Constitution is to always stand on the side of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. And that writing this into the Constitution flies in the face of that. When I listened to Senator Harrington make his remarks, I couldn't have been more proud for what he brings to this body, for his ability to stand here and remind us just how wrong we were back in the days when he first married, just how wrong we were as Americans, that we would have had an America where Senator Harrington and his wife were not welcome to start their family in parts of our own country. Just how wrong we were. Well, members of this body, I think this new majority is very, very wrong. I think this new majority is out of step with the people of Minnesota and the people of this country. You know, there was this conversation back in 2006 when I first was elected, only I believe the people have moved on. I never heard, as I was campaigning this last interim, a request in a town hall meeting to put this issue on the ballot. That is not what people were talking about. People were concerned about the economy. People were concerned about jobs. To be honest, people thought we were spending too much money, and they asked us to take action. And I think that is what brought this new majority into power. I do not think this new majority was put here today, this year, to put this initiative on the ballot. I think this new majority is out of step when it tried to put stem cell research into our laws, a ban on stem cell research, when we have the discussions about whether or not reproductive rights ought to be limited. I think we have come to a place in our own community, in our own society, where we think government does not have the right to tell us how to live our personal lives. It is not government's business to decide some of these fundamental personal and moral issues. That is where I stand on this issue. So, you know, it is a privilege to serve here. I will vote no on this today, and I will do so not just for my brother, but for all of the many citizens of Minnesota who think that this initiative is just plain out of step with the direction that we are taking in our state and in our country.